Well, hello there. Thank you for joining me this evening. Uh, Got a bit of a special treat for you to start off the stream. We're going to do some taste testing of pumpkin beer, and we'll see what everybody thinks of those pumpkin beers, of their individual flavors. Have some that have really pleased me in previous years. I have some that have really let me down in previous years, and I have some that have switched roles in previous years. So I never know exactly what to expect when we get into the pumpkin beer, whether we're going to be dealing with, uh, a good batch, and I think that's part of the fun is when you're dealing with you know Coors Light. Their entire purpose is to produce exactly the same beer all year round, every year, from one can to another. It will taste exactly the same. Doesn't mean it'll taste good, but their focus is on consistency. And my father, being an expert on sterility, actually like toured a brewery at one point, and there were like an Anheuser Busch brewery, and there were swimming pool sized containers of beer, which were then connected by tubes into other swimming pool sized containers of beer, and the system was designed to flow constantly through multiples of that back and forth to keep all of the beer mixing and make sure that it all came out exactly the same. And if you've got the money that Anheuser-Busch does and you want to go ahead and make beer on that scale, you can do that. But if you're making small batch pumpkin ale, uh, it doesn't tend to come out as consistent, and especially from one year to the next because it's a seasonal thing, you wind up with weird variations. And sometimes a brand that does a really good job several years in a row will have one that just kind of sucks. How we doing, Hank Knott? How we doing, Jinx? Good to see you both. And yeah, it is cool. His description of that factory was really, really interesting. He actually works in pharmaceutical. Well, he worked in pharmaceuticals. He's retired now, but that was in one of the periods where he was looking for something different. Wanted to try something out on a large manufacturing scale that involved his specialization in sterility. Because when you work in a penicillin plant, sterility is kind of important. You got to make sure there's no cross contamination, and especially in the factories that he worked in when I was growing up, he switched back and forth between a penicillin and a cephalosporin plant, and you really don't want penicillin getting into the cephalosporin plant, or vice versa. Those that you can ruin the efficacy of the medication completely by doing that. So it was a real focus of his, and that's what led him to the opportunity at Anheuser-Busch, which he eventually declined because um, I think the money wasn't right, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, that's my incredible Anheuser-Busch story. And now I'd like to introduce you to somebody who has a slightly higher standard than Anheuser-Busch. This right here is Dogfish Head Brewing Company and their annual pumpkin ale offering called Pumpkin Ale. I don't know if you can read the subtitle, but it says Brown Ale with Pumpkin. And we'll go ahead and flash that up in front of the camera so you get an idea of the color on that, the consistency. She's lovely. She's a brown ale with a hint of orange. She real purty. Dogfish Head are not just tasty in a pinch. Dogfish Head are one of my favorite breweries. The guy who runs the place is an absolute lunatic in the best sense of the word. He's just laser focused on his passion, which is beer. I've eaten actual dogfish. Oh, dogfish are pretty tasty. Okay, I misunderstood. My apologies. I was a little confused there. Now I understand. Let's see here. Smell wise, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. Definitely get that pumpkin. It's not a sense of there's. It doesn't smell sweet. It smells vegetable-y and spiced, but it doesn't smell sweet to me. Maybe a hint of sweetness. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Taste wise, that is basically a perfect example of what I think pumpkin ale should taste like. It's not so pumpkiny that it's like, is this even beer? But it's also pumpkiny enough to let you know that it's there. It's It's got those great spices to it. Everything kind of melts together. It's like toned down, mellower pumpkin pie. Not aggressive, just yummy. That is going to be pretty hard to beat. I'm not going to lie. Maybe a little spice forward on this one, less pumpkin, more spice. So the nutmeg and the cinnamon are definitely kind of a little bit more powerful in there. But it's going to be very, very difficult to top this one. And we're on number 1. So that's problematic because there are 6. So, and I am not drinking 6 beers tonight, just so we're clear. I bought these beers specifically for the purpose of doing this comparison taste test, and we shan't be getting 6 deep on a Friday Eve in October. I'm not. That's not who I am. So, our next offering. No balls, he says. Fuck you. The next offering is Saranac Pumpkin Ale. Saranac is a local brewery which is hit or miss with me. In previous years, I used to really, really like Saranac, and then they started doing stuff that they just got super into the IPA craze for a bit, and now they're kind of, I think, getting back to their roots and trying stuff. They did a pumpkin ale one year that I was like, oh, but they used to be my favorite pumpkin ale. So we'll see how they did this year. Nose-wise, first of all, a deeper brown color, I would say, than the previous one. The previous one was lighter, and this one seems deeper to me. I don't know. I could be wrong on that front. From the nose, immediately what I'm getting is brown sugar. Yes, there's pumpkin, but there's brown sugar going on in there. Oh, I love the artwork on the cans too. They're terrific. Huh. With the brown sugar smell, I was expecting this one to be sweeter, but it's not. It's actually, if anything, it's a little watery. Almost tastes maybe a little flat. Maybe I just got a bad can. I don't, but yeah, nowhere near the zip of the Dogfish Head. But there's a mellower quality that's more like an ale. It's got those roasty, toasty notes in it. There's a hint of brown sugar, but nowhere near as much as you. From the smell, you really would have thought that it was going to be very sugary, and no, it's very mild. It's very thin. It's roasty, toasty, and brown. It's smooth. There's even a hint of a bitter aftertaste, which I like in my ales, but it's nothing too aggressive. But I don't know. This one's not. This is nothing to write home about. This year's Saranac is a modest affair, I would say. Maybe a hint of honey in there as well. And the pumpkin is so slight, so very slight that I'm not sure about that at all. I too have been partaking in fancy beverages. Just drank a lot of banana milkshake. Ooh, well, that sounds like fun. This is a favorite illustration of mine. Pumpkinhead. Shipyard Brewing Pumpkinhead shows up once a year, and you get the feeling like the horse and the suit are glow in the dark. It almost has that Scooby-Doo glowing green quality about it. Once again, this is a lighter, more of an amber colored beer than the Saranac, so probably not as roasty toasty. Now, in previous years, I've made jokes that Pumpkinhead should actually be called Beehive Head because it tastes more like honey than pumpkins. But we will see if Pumpkinhead is pumpkiny this year. Smell-wise, I'm getting honey. I would be drinking my Pumpkinhead if it wasn't for you meddling kids. It is a perfect rendition of the Headless Horseman with a little pumpkin on his head, and I just adore that. I love that art. It's the same art they've used for years. It's an annual thing. Shipyard Brewing, I've seen a lot of different beers from them, but Pumpkinhead is the one that comes up the most often. Let's see here. Smell-wise, it really smells like somebody put honey in this beer. There's even a hint of that beeswax kind of thing going on. I'm not getting pumpkin. So I'm a little confused. Did they mix up squash with pumpkin, but I don't know. We'll find out. Go ahead and give her a taste. That's baffling. First of all, more zesty by far than the pumpkin ale. Still not outpacing the Dogfish Head as far as the sheer that you get on the tongue, the zip. But a little thicker, a little fizzier, a little fuzzier, a little more on the palate. But it doesn't taste like pumpkin to me. It tastes like somebody made a very light ale, not even like a dark brown ale, not a nut ale, just light ale, maybe even a pale ale, and then added honey to it. Specifically, there's beeswax in here. I'm not just getting honey, I'm getting beeswax. There's a quality on the tongue afterwards that's it feels like my tongue's been mildly coated with beeswax. What's interesting about this beer is that I actually really like it. It has a soft, gently sweet quality, mildly sweet, not aggressively sweet, not cloyingly sweet. Just a little sweet, and it's got that honey quality to it. If this were not called a pumpkin beer, if this were called a honey beer, I'd be all for it. I actually really like what I'm tasting. I'm enjoying this glass of beer. But it is not a pumpkin beer, friends. And I'm afraid Shipyard course corrected a little bit last year, veered more into the pumpkin. Liked it. This year, we're right back in a honey territory. Still like it, just not what I'm looking for at this time of year. It's not working for me. I mean, so it's more similar to mead than pumpkin ale? Absolutely, yes. And again, it's not so much honey as if you have a beeswax candle, you don't light the beeswax candle. There's no fire involved. You just smell that natural beeswax candle and then translate that smell into taste and then put beer in it. That's what that is. It tastes like beeswax in the best possible way. Really not trying to put down Shipyard here because it's actually it's a nice beer. I'm enjoying it, but it's not the right one. I know what you mean. I have a beeswax lip balm. There you go. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so the next one here is again relatively local brand. Smutty Nose Brewing Company. I don't know what Smutty Nose is supposed to mean, but it's a bad choice for a name. But what are you going to do? Smutty Nose Brewing Company Pumpkin Ale. And it says, ale brewed with real pumpkin and spices. And so again, we'll go ahead and get a color, that nice light amber, almost like a darkened honey kind of color. So another light one, but not as light as the Shipyard Pumpkinhead. Go ahead and have a sniff. What the fuck? Incidentally, that is not the reaction you want when somebody sniffs your beer. What the? Okay. That smells like a spray that you spray in your country store to make it smell like fall. But it smells vaguely synthetic, and that's not the vibe that I'm looking for in a beverage. But again, the smell on the Saranac was very different from the taste, so we're not going to jump to conclusions based on smell. We're going to have another sniff. That is fascinating. I mean, if you were going to spray your store to smell like fall, at least this one's not aggressive. It's not up in your face. Not like the Christmas sprays where they're just like fucking, you know, but a gentle fall smell, something that I would associate with Thanksgiving, really, rather than Halloween. But I'm not getting pumpkin off of it. I'm just getting fall smells. We'll go ahead and give it a taste. That's a no. That's a hard no. It's a hard no. No, thank you. Didn't care for that. Didn't care for that at all. I wanted it out of my mouth as quickly as possible. It was. There's a bitterness left over in the aftertaste. I'm literally gonna have some Pumpkinhead to clear it out. There's a bitterness in the aftertaste, but up front it's too sweet, and it doesn't taste like pumpkin. It tastes like artificial sweeteners and just that's a hard no. Well, I'm moving right on from that. We're gonna skip that one over completely. Move on to Southern Tier, who makes my absolute favorite Christmas ale, and Southern Tier makes Pumpkin, and he's a jolly fellow there. The Pumpkin is Imperial Pumpkin Ale, so it's a heavy boy. It's not Smutty Nose done messed up. That was not. It's not my favorite. Imperial Pumpkin Ale, 8.6% by volume. So this is there's a reason that the Pumpkin is so jolly. He's off his face. Is what's going on. Go ahead and give that a look. Very similar in color to the. Oh bloody hell! Very similar in color to the Pumpkinhead. Very light honey-like color, but this one's a little hazier. There's some foggy stuff going on in there. Yeah, that smells of pumpkin. That smells of pumpkin, and it smells sweet. It smells sugary sweet. Second smell is milder, not as aggressive. Yeah, there's a haze about it. I don't know. Depth is a good word. There's some depth in there. Third sniff nowhere near as aggressive. So I think maybe that it was just compared to the last one. This one smells much more sugary and sweet. I'm not getting a lot of spices. I'm getting a whisper of pumpkin, just a hint of pumpkin, and something else. Something else that I'm having trouble putting my finger on, but it's gentle. It's gentle and sweet. We'll give it a taste. Oh, that's fun. It's vanilla. There's a vanilla quality. Mouthfeel wise, very rich. The rich that haze is giving me. It's almost creamy. It's a fluffy ass beverage right there. Taste wise, yeah, pumpkin's right there. Still has a nice ale flavor to it, but it's not very bitter. It's not very roasty toasty. It's pumpkin forward. With this vanilla and then a mild coffee flavor going in the back. Very gentle, like cappuccino. Like it's been very thinned down with sweeteners and cream and so forth. But just a mild hint of coffee going on. And oh no, I've just found something I don't like about it. With that cream, that vanilla, there's almost a hint of creme de menthe going on. There's the faintest touch of mint, like a cough of mint, not even a cough, like a wheeze of mint in it. That is mildly off-putting. This is a strange concoction, but I'm thinking of it very much in the terms of a witch's brew. They've really mixed it up, you know? I like that one, in spite of being weirded out by it. I don't know what it is about that. Why would I like? Oh, heck not. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. And our last entry for this year is Atomic Pumpkin, a classic from the good folks at Voodoo Ranger. Now, as I've told you before, I've completely gone off pale ales at this point. I can't get behind an India Pale Ale. I can't get behind a regular pale ale. They just bore the tits off me. I love a good ale. I want it I want it roasty toasty. I want it malty and rich. It is a sick name. Voodoo Ranger, Voodoo Ranger is their line of ales. New Belgium is the brewery, and they do more than just ales, but most of what they do is Voodoo Ranger. They mostly stick to the ales. And Atomic Pumpkin is so named for a very specific reason. For this ale is not like anything else you'll taste, because not many ales contain ghost pepper extract. That's right. This is a spicy ale. Atomic Pumpkin is definitely giving me Fallout vibes, and even more so now that you know that it has ghost pepper in it. There's just something violent and volatile about this. That'll blow the arse off you. It's just a hint. We've had this in previous years, and I've always really, really liked it, despite the fact that it is more towards the pale ale flavor palette. Smell-wise, you can straight up smell the ghost pepper. I'm not joking. There is a quality in the nose that actually has kind of a mild burn to it. There's also a lot of cinnamon forward going on in there. Besides that, let's see here. Besides that, there is definitely a pumpkin smell, and there is a smell of something sweet. Yeah, definitely take care of yourself there, Hank. That's serious shit. I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'll talk to you more about that. Let's see. We'll give it a taste. We'll see how it is. Man, that's just a good idea. There's no getting around it. The pumpkin flavor is a real calm this year. It's not over the top.
I think it's spicier this year.
They haven't gone aggressive in terms of their sugary sweetness or their overly pumpkininess. There's a roasty toasty quality that's just lurking in the background, and then it's that ghost. It's that, oh, you saw the pup? Here's my good girl.
She really, really wanted to come see you.
Oh, I know, Tolly, but I'm doing my beer comparison. I'm hyper focused on my beer review. We'll hang out. Don't worry. Indigo's here too. She's drawing.
Hello.
Nye guy already beat you to it. He's like, "Hi, Indigo."
Aww. Hello.
Let's see here.
Rowan.
Yeah, flavor-wise, that's phenomenal. That's really something special, but it's entirely different from the rest of the beers. And I feel like it's almost unfair to put it in the same category because the spiciness, the burn in my throat that comes from it, it's like I'm not even drinking beer. I'm drinking some sort of weird mystical concoction. I'm afraid this, like right from the beginning, I guess I shouldn't have done Dogfish Head right at the beginning because it was every single other beer that I tried, I was comparing to Dogfish Head, and none of them were measuring up. Dogfish Head's Pumpkin Ale this year is really solid. And they don't win every year, but this year's is really, really good. Yeah, that's just everything that I want in a pumpkin ale. So it's everything. I need it. No, so seriously, if you're looking for a pumpkin ale, Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale, that'd be the way to go this year. This is the correct option for you. Saranac, little sleepy, a little weak. Pumpkinhead, stop calling yourself Pumpkinhead. You're Beehive Head. The Smutty Nose Pumpkin Ale, just stop. Just stop. And Pumpkin, interesting, fascinating. Not 100% what I was going for, but interesting. And Atomic Pumpkin, I honest to God, New Belgium, what the fuck, guys? It's an experience. It's not even a beer. It's an experience. That's a wacky one. So anyway, that is it for the annual Halloween pumpkin beer review. Just in time for my commercial warning. We've got commercials in 5 minutes, and now